chat. Okay, let's see what's going on here. Okay, it says it's live. I'm going to try to see if someone can check the link. Let's see what happens. I asked the wrong way. Okay, it's live on here, and when I did that little test, it yeah, looks like it's working now. Great. I apologize for the fact that it has sunlight. It is dusk. We have the sunset, and of course I am in the west part of the house, lined up perfectly with the sun. It should be gone in a few minutes. So I'll make sure I turn on the lights in here. All right. Great. I can hear myself on the tablet. So I'm going to stop this. And I'll check it in a few minutes. Okay. Let's go ahead and get this set up. Okay, so we'll go over the encounter card set first, and then I'll get shuffling on to. Actually, let me do that first. So here is the deck of cards. So our two enemy weakness, or our two weaknesses, and Randolph Carter, and 3 painted worlds. We've got quick thinking, unexpected courage, and guts. We've got daring maneuver, spectral razor, read the signs, breaking and entering, backstab level 0 and 3, storm of spirits, ward of protection, 1 intel report, lone wolf, Gregory Gry, 2 copies of level 3 moxie, lucky sig case, 6 sense, and 2 lockpicks, 1 level 0 and 1 level 1. Give that a good shuffle. I'll stand up and have a gander at the play area. What I'll do is I'll have her deck over here on the right side in these holders, and I will have the cards that are going underneath Safina in this little holder over here. I will. I don't follow the traditional setup because this is widescreen and the house is more vertical. So we'll walk through that as we get there. I'll probably move things over to the right a little bit. Yeah. And then since I have a new scorer, I will let you know that I use little cubes here for the action markers. Those are old style pandemic cubes that I replaced when I did the legacy pandemic a while back. I have so the way that I do the location randomization is I don't randomize them, and instead when I go to a location, I roll a die, and that die decides which direction I go when I have a choice for those. That's the easiest way to do it, and the fairest way to do it. Then I think that's it for looking at the table. And so I'm going to finish shuffling Safina's deck here in front of the camera. And it's very important to shuffle thoroughly after you've organized it so much into the it's alive. Wonderful. Okay, I'm glad that it's working. I don't understand why it didn't work that time. It was exactly the same thing that happened to me on the very first scenario. thankfully, I have had enough time to do a second run. I guess it gives me a chance to say that I actually have a practice run in. I apologize if I cough a little bit. I've got a bit of allergies. I live in the North American South, and therefore it's the pollen bowl at the moment. So it's just the way it goes. So there's that. I'll set that off to the side for now. Here are the encounter sets. I'm going to guarantee that I'm doing this correctly right quick. Then I'll get the bag out and show it off. I need to make sure that I take, because I had already added the skull, so I need to make sure I got that. So we'll check. Okay, so we have everyone's favorites. All right, here at the bottom, some rats. Got the locked doors. We've got the ghouls and all their graspiness. And we've got the standard encounter sets from the Dream Eaters, and then this, of course, is the encounter set for Thousand Shapes of Horror. So I'll make sure that that was Thousand Shapes of Horror, Creatures of the Underworld, Emerging Realities, Chilling Ghouls, Locked Doors, and Rats. You'll notice that over here on the right side, I have set aside the Descent and the attic and unmarked tomb, as well as the stairs. I'll give that a shuffle here a second. We'll get this guy, actually, well, no, let's get this guy set up first. Get it out of the bag. Should have been more organized before I started the stream up. So there's those. Get two, I believe there's supposed to be 2 skulls, not 3. And then we have the +1, and we have the -1s, and the 0s, and the 2s, and the 3 and the 4, and the 2 elder things, and a cultist. Right. Get these into the bag. And there we go. Give that a zhuzh. I'll put her counter tokens up here for now. Let's give this a shuffle. I hope everyone's having an enjoyable April. It's almost May. It's very, very pleasant here in Alabama. It'll be interesting to see how this runs. This deck runs so I've played this deck now a few times, right, with the first scenario, and now once with the second scenario. Because I was kind of trying to figure out how really, first of all, I've never played Safina. Second of all, I've never played a succeed by mechanic. I'm not much of a rogue player. I just really wanted to, try something new. And so I thought, well, why don't I try Safina with the succeed by mechanic kind of as an important aspect to the play. A little bit different than maybe what people might do with Safina, and I like doing that. At heart, I'm a Calvin player, so I like to try something a little bit different than what a lot of folks are comfortable playing, and so looking forward to see how it's run. So what I was saying is it can run really hot on resources, or every once in a while it runs kind of cold if you just don't, hit Gregory Gry or you don't hit Lone Wolf. And it's very interesting when that happens. And that's actually happened in scenario 1, the actual live version of scenario 1. So we'll see how this one goes. So when I did the run 2 nights ago, it was just hot on resource, just lone wolf, lots of being able to just plus it up with Moxie. So I kind of like that. It was fun. So we'll see how it goes. So, oh, good shuffle. I'm sure people get annoyed with shuffling that I do. I like it to be trustworthy and random. Okay. All right. So this will be for Safina. Counter deck. Let's get the house out. So house-wise, and we've got the burial ground out front, the downstairs doorways, the upstairs doorways, and the front porch, and the upstairs hallway. For now, we're just going to do it this way. This is easy to deal with. I'll move things around as we need to. I'm going to move Safina out of the way. I think she makes a better spot down there. Let's get these clues back over here. All the doom. We have Safina with her one horror on her. And it was interesting that it's playing with Moxie from the very beginning. It was almost like a battle of how can I not take horror as a way to really do this. So okay, I'm gonna do one more check to make sure that the stream is working correctly. Looks like, oh, Krabby's here, great. That's great. Well, I appreciate everyone having a look-see while I enjoy my evening. Yep, looks like everything is working correctly, so I'm going to go ahead and not have this running in the background. All right, so we've got agendas 1, 2, and 3, and we've got acts 1 and 2. We have Safina's deck. Like I said earlier, her cards will be over on the right, and her cards underneath her will be here on the left. So I'll get 13 cards. Okay. Let's see what we get. We got 4, 8, 12, 13. Okay. Interesting. Lots of events. Great, great. Okay. So let's put these guys over here, and I'll check the camera one more time to make sure everything can be seen. The sun is setting here, but it is rising on Krabby Terror. Okay, and then these are our events. So we've got a lot. So let's really think about. We've got one copy of Painted World. We've got an immediate 2 Sixth Senses. So then this is also, there's no money, right? So it's we're going to be running pretty lean. For that reason, I think I want to put the Warder Protection under Safina. I'm definitely going to put the Intel Report under Safina. That is, yeah. I'm going to put the level 3 backstab on Safina's hand. That way it can actually proc the way that it's supposed to. And then we're going to put a copy of Storm of Spirits in there, and a Breaking and Entering in there. And then at this point, I think I'm going to do Spectral Razor over there, and we'll bring this guy over here. So that puts 5 cards underneath Safina. The Ward, Intel Report, the Storm, and the Breaking and Entering, and the Spectral Razor. Looks like it needs to be moved over ever so slightly so that you can see it. Yeah, there we go. And then we're going to put the deck right there. Great. Everything is looking good. We're ready to get started. It does take me a minute. I feel like it takes me longer than everybody else to get everything set up. Give this a good zhuzh. Safina starts at the burial ground. I'm going to get my glasses on because, yes, I'm that old. We get one clue at the burial ground, and we have the beginning. So the first agenda does not have any instructions on it. It just has flavor text, which I will leave Krabby to deal with. So we've got one clue. Each ghoul enemy drawn spawns here. And as a fast, investigators at the burial ground may spend a clue to remember that they noticed missing bones. It is the first turn. 3 actions go on to Safina. We're going to do the first action. Oh, let me check to make sure. I think it was 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. So first action, Safina is going to play Sixth Sense. So we'll put this here. First action costs 3. And we're rolling on. Second action is going to be an investigate. I find that it's best to investigate this location sooner rather than later. It is only since we didn't get Moxie, right? She's only at a 4. So she's at 4 versus 4. So the question is, do we want, yeah, I think this is where we start. This is where we push forward. So, and in fact, what I will do is second action, I'm going to play down the lucky Sig case. And let's see what happens. So she's out of cash. Last action, she will investigate. And in this situation, I'm going to go ahead and do guts plus quick thinking. So that's +3. She's at +3 on the test. And yeah, I think, do we really want to push it that hard? Because it's a minus, you know what? I don't have an extra willpower icon. So go at plus, instead of quick thinking, let's just go with the guts. We're just going to go with the guts. So she's going to go at +2 on the test. She gets a 0. Well, that's the way it goes. But we do get a guts proc. So we get a clue and a draw card. And we get guts. There's the discard pile. We'll move those out of the way a little bit. Okay, that is the end of her turn. There are no enemies. We have cards and money. We get a copy of The Painted World. We get cash money, which is 1. And we get Doom, 1 out of 5. And we get a badness card. Oh, yeah, of course. Hunting Ghast. This is a ghast, not a ghoul. So it does spawn on us. Forced after the hunting ghast enters a location with a gug. Ready each gug enemy at the location to deal damage. Okay, so there's none of those. So the ghast is on us. And it is a 2/2/3. Great. All right, so we move on into the investigation. 3 actions go on to Safina. I should have used Lucky Sid case. Oh well, I wasn't paying attention. I don't know why I didn't do that. Not paying attention. Moving too quickly will hurt you. So we're at 3 actions on Safina. I think in this is a hunter. I think in this situation, she could evade at 4 versus 3, or she could attempt to, well, she doesn't have enough cash money. Yeah. So I think in this situation, we're going to go with an evade. And in fact, I wish we were at a place that had a clue. That would make that so much cooler. I think we're just going to evade at 4 versus 3 for the first action. So first action is an evade at 4 versus 3. 4 versus 3, we get a cultist, which is reveal another token. -1, that's a 3 versus 3. The token, this is a -1 if you fail. Yeah, so that nothing happens there. So this is evaded. She evaded at 0. Second action, she's going to move to the front porch, where there is 1 clue. And so what she will do is immediately, so there is a clue there, right? So we're going to, I think in this situation, yeah, I think we're good at the moment. Well, I think we're going to investigate. We're going to take the time and spend, we're just going to do this. So we're going to investigate at 4 versus 2 for the last action. Four versus 2. And we get a 0. 4 versus 2, succeed by 2. I will go ahead and draw the card. So we do get a clue on Safina. We draw a card off of the Lucky Sig case, which is Moxie, which I will fast right now. No, I'm not. I'm not going to fast it yet. Let's keep that in hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards. That is her last turn. There are no enemies that are readied. We get the refresh phase, and we get cash money, and we get cards. We draw Unexpected Courage. Come on now. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I want to go ahead and fast Moxie into play, so that we don't have to discard anything. Okay, so now we're at 5, 5, 5 on our important stats. She should get cash money, and we get Doom, and we get Badness. Another hunting guest. Well, there you go. Well, at least now we have enough money to actually start killing things. So, first action, we have 3 actions onto Safina. First action is that she will paint, I think, a copy. Yeah, she's going to have to paint a copy right now of, she's going to paint a copy of Spectral Razor. So, we're going to play Painted World, first action. That gets removed from the game. And we're painting a copy of Spectral Razor, which means that she is at 5, 7 versus 2. And I think in this situation, I would like to go ahead and do the quick thinking as well. So we'll commit quick thinking to 8 versus 2. 8 versus 2. Oh, we have to pay for it. Cost 2. Eight versus 2. Well, that was fun. That was great. That was a wonderful time for that to show up. Okay, obviously that was an auto fail. Okay, so that goes to the discard pile. That is removed from play. Second action, we will evade. We're at 5 versus 3. 5 versus 3 with an Elder Sign. Okay, well, you know, you win some, you lose some. So this is evaded at the entryway, and there's still an action on Safina. we're going to get to draw a card from underneath Safina, and I think we're going to draw the breaking and entering, I think. Yep. Because that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That'll be an 8th card. So that's fine. So that's a big succeed buy. So it's also, I will go ahead and use Lucky Sig Case and hope that I don't regret getting a mob boss at the wrong time of the game. We get Gregory Gry. That's wonderful. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cards. Oh, maybe I shouldn't have drawn off of him. No, that's the way it goes. So for the last action, yeah, that's the way it goes. I wasn't thinking about that. For the last action, I'm going to spend the clue. Well, that's not an action, but I will spend the clue to reveal the upstairs hallway, which has 0 clues, and I will move to it. So what will happen now, that's 3 actions. We are at the refresh phase. Well, Hunter's gonna hunt. They hunt up here. So when I played this last time, I got hit by every single one of the treacheries, like all the nonsense of how many cards are in your threat area. Now I'm getting hit with the ghasts. Thankfully, we do have a copy of Storm of Spirits. I hope that we can get enough cash money to actually do something with the Storm of Spirits. We'll see what happens. Okay, moving on. We've got, that's 3 actions. We've moved our hunters. We get cash money and cards. We get another unexpected courage. We get cash money, and we have to discard a card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cards. In this situation, I will choose to discard 6 cents. One copy of Read the Signs. Hopefully we'll run into some other stuff, because I'm worried that we're going to hit a investigation wall here in a second. We'll see what happens. We've got lots of events. If we can get Gregory Gry into play and start getting money off of him, then that really makes a difference. Okay, so that's that. We go to the Mythos phase. We get Doom, 3 out of 5. We get Badness, which is Deceptive Memories. This is the one I was just referencing. So right now there's nothing that happens. I am not going to cancel that card for good reason, because I like getting my pluses out of Moxie. We get 3 actions onto Safina. So here we have, we can put the set aside attic into play, which I think I'm not going to do just yet, because that's where the key is, as I do recall. But I know I need to do that. So we will go ahead and spend the clue to put the attic into play, which is a free action, so the attic is in play. So for the first action, this is what I don't like about this upstairs hallways. It's a choke point. I think the first action, I'm going to go to one of these upstairs doorways, because I want to go to all 3. So first action, I'm going to go to an upstairs doorway. It'll be 1, 2, 3, or 4, 5, 6. That's a 5. First action. Second action, there is 1 clue there. Second action is to investigate. As an additional cost, you must either lose an action or take a horror. In this situation, I think I will choose to take to lose the action because it keeps Moxie in play, which right now is doing some pretty good work. So with all of that, I'm at 5 versus 4 and there's my lost action. Oh yeah, I don't have it anymore. I lost it. Okay, so 5 versus 4. -1, that is a succeed. It's a succeed by. So for sure we get a clue onto Safina, and we get to put in the unmarked tomb. So I will go ahead and just spend that clue because we know that we want to do that, and we can put the unmarked tomb into play. So at least we have a way to get to the end of the scenario now, even if we don't get all the victory that's available, which I would really prefer to do to get to the end of the scenario. Okay, that's the end of her turn. The hunting ghasts will hunt up to the next level. We get cards and money, daring maneuver. I should have, I wasn't paying a bit of attention. I should have played something, but you know, it's what it is. Too many cards. Cash money. So we're at 9 cards, so I'll go ahead and discard I'm just going to discard that daring maneuver for now. That's just the way it goes. Okay. We get badness, 4 out of 5. And a glimpse of the underworld. This goes into my threat area, which causes that to proc. When you would take damage in horror, take an additional damage in horror. Yeah. So we've got those 2 in play. So then on this guy, choose and discard a card from hand. Yeah. So in this situation, I will choose to discard. I'm going to choose to discard Breaking and Entering. I really would like to keep those Unexpected Courages for now. Yep, that's the way it goes. That's just the way it goes. Okay, we get 3 actions on Safina. First action is take a resource, move, and then kill. Yep. So first action is to take a resource. Second action, move. Third action, this is where it gets interesting. Storm of Spirits. So, oh, what am I doing? It doesn't come out of there. This is a painted copy. Pay 3 for Storm of Spirits. So it targets one of them. Storm of Spirits. Use heads instead of fists. If you succeed, this attack deals 2 damage to each enemy at your location. So it'll be a fight against a 2. So she's fighting at 5 versus 2. In this situation, we are going to do a plus up. We'll go with this. In this case, we will go with a guts plus up, which is now 7 versus 2. -2, so it's 5 versus 2. It succeeds by 3. It kills both of the ghasts. It does not cause any damage to Safina. And that is that. That's just the way it works. That's great. I'm very happy with that result. So the question is, do I want to draw two? I will. So I'm going to do a lucky sig case off of that to draw a card. We get quick thinking. And we get the enemy phase. The enemies are all dead. We move to the refresh phase. We get cards and money. We get a copy of Storm of Spirits. We get cash money. We'll eventually get Gregory Gry out before it's too late, right? We get badness, which is the unnameable, right? Yeah, we get the unnameable, which happens to sit right here. It's at the attic or the upstairs hallway. I'll put it in the attic, just so I don't have to deal with it at this exact moment. We get the thing with no name. Each swarm of rats gains swarming 1, forced at the start of your turn. If the unnameable is ready and at your location, test 2 heads. If you fail, it attacks you. 3 actions go on to Safina. We get badness, which is grasping hands. Test 3 feet. So she's at 5 versus 3 with the grasping hands test. Five versus 3 is Elder Sign. Okay, I'll take it. That's a big succeed by. I will do the lucky sig case, which I hope. Yeah, I'll do the lucky sig case, and do I want to draw a card from underneath Safina? I will draw the Storm of Spirits. No, I have a copy in hand. I'll draw the Spectral Razor. So now I'm at 4 card. Yeah, now I'm at 4/4. So I need to spend some cards on the next test. Okay, so this is the card from Lucky Sig Case. We get Moxie. Interesting. Okay, that's there. We get first action as a move to this other room where there's clue. We have that's that double action. Oh yeah, that's interesting. Wow. Okay, so we are at 3 shroud here. 3 shroud. So we're at 5 versus 3. You know what? I will go ahead and plus that up. Yeah, I'll definitely plus that up. So at 5 versus 3, we're going to go with a quick thinking on this one, which would be a 6 versus 3. Do we really want to push it hard? 6 versus 3. I'm worried about that one location that has, that's a lot. I still have a lot of cards in hand. 6 versus 3. Yeah, I do really want to put in. I want these extra actions, so I'm going to do that. So I'm +3 on the test. I am, so I'm at 5, a natural 5, +3, 8 versus 3. This is to investigate. So I'm +3 with that -2, which is good. So that was the second action. Right, because it was move, and then second action was investigate. Okay, so we get a proc off of quick thinking, puts her back up to 2 actions. We get the clue. And then we will spend the clue, because we found a cracked mirror. Because that's valuable to do that. All right. Next action, we move to the upstairs hallway. And then the last action is to move to the attic, where the unnameable is, where there is a clue. that is an aloof hunter. Okay. So we, all right, this is great. I'm going to check this stream one more time because I'm paranoid now that I have been having all these troubles. Right, quick. It is still going. Oh, I really don't know why we're having so much trouble with this. Okay. It is still going. So I I'm feeling good. Okay. Here we go. That's the end of the turn. This forced. Oh, the force is on here. Starting your turn. Okay. So that's the end of Safina's turn. We get cards and money. We get Stars of Hyades. Okay. So we have 1, 2, 3 cards. So we'll roll a d6. We'll go back to front. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's Storm of Spirits. That gets removed from the game. There are definitely more than 5 cards in the deck at the moment, so this gets shuffled back in. The deck is thin, though. it's scarily thin. I do need to get a way to deal with that. I didn't get Lone Wolf. That's where it sucks, right? Like getting Lone Wolf is like, it's overpowered. Like it's just so good. So good. Every time I play a character that can take it and is solo, I grab it up. All right. That was cards, cash money. Doom, 1 out of 6. Actions go on to Safina after we get a Swarm of Rats that has Swarming 1, right? Swarming 1, so that goes on us. That is a card that is in our threat area. Choose and discard a card from hand. We'll choose to discard. I will choose to discard Read the Signs. I feel like that's the best choice. Okay, 2 Swarms of Rats. Is a swarming, which is an advantage. I will be able to at least hit it with something. I could evade it, and then it could be so. Okay, so 3 actions on Safina. We could evade, and then we could evade, investigate, move. That seems reasonable. It seems reasonable. So I think that's what we're going to do. So we're going to evade the Swarm of Rats. We're at 5. We're at natural 5 versus 3. Evading the rats. Well, there you go. That was a fail. Epic proportion. Oh, I started my turn with the unnameable. I need to do a heads test. So this will be a 5 versus 2 heads test. I apologize. Out of order. 5 versus 2. 5 versus 2 minus 3 is a success. Okay, so that was this. I forgot to do that test. Then the first action was to evade. Second action is to, now it's different. Now it's different. Do we stomp the rats? I think we do. Spectral razor this. I think that's what we're gonna have to do, is spectral razor this, as much as I hate using that with such a waste, but it is what it is. So spend 2 to spectral razor the rats. Yep. So second action is attack. So this is a 5, 7 versus 1. 7 versus 1 minus 2 if you fail. Didn't fail. So it's 5 versus 1. Those are dead rats. This goes back on the bottom. Last action, investigate. I don't want to do this. I don't want to risk getting the mob enforcer right now. So this is at 5 versus 4. We'll plus that up. We're going to go at 5, 7 versus 4. Seven versus 4. Wow. There you go. I think I may just, that may be a reason to just get the heck out of here. Yep. All right, we are at the enemy phase. He's aloof. We do cards and money. We get a backstab. Cash money. We get doom. And we get badness, which is the glowing eyes. This goes into the threat area. At the end of the round, take a horror for each card in your threat area to a maximum of 3 horror. Discard glowing eyes. So that, I can't cancel it. So that's just the way it's going to be. So that's a card that enters into the threat area, which means I discard a card. I'll discard Gregory Cry. This is not going as well as I like it to. Yeah, that's what it is. Okay, 3 actions on Safina. I think in this situation I may, so that would be 1, 2 victory, 3 victory. So I could investigate, move. I think that's what I'm going to do. We're about to lose Moxie. That's just the way it's going to happen. We'll just take the horror. This is going to be a pretty rough one. She's going to take 3 horror. So first action is to investigate, I think. Now that I don't have any more things to plus up with. I'm at 5 versus 4. I can go to 6 versus 4. I may do that. I may go to 6 versus 4 with Moxie. I think I will. So first action, 6 versus 4, investigate, plus up with Moxie. You know what? I'll make it 7 versus 4 with Storm of Spirits. Minus 2 is 5 versus 4. It's a succeed by 1, and that is a successful clue. Fast. Oh, I did it again where I didn't do the 5 versus 2. This is the unnameable test at 5 versus 2. Wow. So the unnameable, so that changes everything. We're going to have to back up this because that would have gone away. So that, because that would have affected that test. So this attacks at 2-2. I'll put both, I'll put 2 and 1 on here, which puts a single horror. So she takes 2-2. 2-2. Then we have when you would take damage or horror, take an additional damage or horror. So 1 of each. So we put 1 and 3 and 2, like that. Moxie goes away. That is the first action. Or that's the first thing that happens. Second thing that happens is getting to the end of this scenario. Things are not going as planned. And what I will do is, now that I am free of that, I will fast this out, which means I take a damage and a horror, which is fine. So damage and a horror. 3, she's at 3 horror now. Find one of these. There we go. Okay, now we're at 5 versus 4. So the question is, do we or do we not? I could draw a card, take a resource, an intel report. I could go at 5. I could fast Moxie into play, but then I'll lose it again because I'll take horror. Is it worth doing that? Is a good question. Is it worth doing that? To get the test. Because I could go at 6 versus 4 to get the key. I should put a marker on these things when I do them. Okay, so man, I hate leaving it on the table. I could take a card, see if I get some intellect. There really aren't that many that I want to use though. It's really Moxie that, yeah, we're gonna Moxie. So Moxie comes into play. First action is to use that resource for Moxie and investigate. So now we're at 6 versus 4. -1, that's a success. So we do get the clue off of that location. Second action is, so we'll also spend the clue to do the glint that we've recovered as strange key. And then second action is to move. Third action is to move. That is the end of the turn. Hunters hunt. We get cards and money. We get a lone wolf copy. We get cash money. We get Batness. We get this, Grasping Hands, for a test. Oh, at the end of the round, before that happens, this is take 2 horror. So 1 goes on to Moxie, and 1 goes on to Safina. That goes away. So we have Grasping Hands, which is at 4 versus 3. We're at 4 versus 3. I think in this situation we will. There's a big chance of getting bad guys, but I'm gonna need a lot of resources. So we're gonna have 4 versus 3. 4 versus 3, -2 is a fail, but it's only 1 damage. So 1 damage goes onto Safina. Okay, there we go. 3 actions on Safina. We go to first action, move to the burial ground. This is. Oh, we don't want to do that. We need a clue for that. So next is to. No, we don't. It's a connected location. So we move to the burial ground, the unmarked tomb, which has a clue. At the end of the round, we advance. We have the strange key. Okay, at the end of the round, we advance. So that was move, move. Last action is to investigate at 4 versus 3. No, last action, pay 1 to get Lone Wolf into play. Okay. Oh, that's right. The unnameable moves now because the house goes away. This is what fun. I totally forgot about that. Okay. So where are we now? We're at the end of the round. At the end of the round, if each undefeated we aren't at the end of the round, we're technically at the refresh. So he moved. It doesn't matter. He's about to move again. We get cards and money. We get a lucky sig case. We get cash money. We get. Now we're at the end of the round. So now we have the act. Set the unnameable aside. Remove each location from the game except for the Victory X locations. So I've successfully done the cracked mirror, so he's a 4/4, which is not as good as it could be. But I'd really like to get through the scenario. So we do have 1, 2, 3 victory locations, 4 victory locations. Yeah, so we even removed the unmarked tomb. So that's not a victory location. So we have those victory locations over here. These are not the victory locations. And this is where we do this. Shuffle the set aside mysterious stairs and put 5 into play in a vertical line. Remove the remaining mysterious stairs from the game. Let's see what happens. Okay, so we'll do that'll be the removed one. So we'll do 1. It's easier in this space to do this kind of more like this. So it goes out and back. I believe she starts here. Place each investigator at topmost and reveal it. Two instances of the same skill icon. Interesting. I don't have any of those yet. Oh, I could draw intel report and do that. Maybe that'll be, that's good. Okay. And the unnameable goes there. Search the encounter deck and discard for both copies of Locked Door and Secrets in the Attic. Locked Door. Secrets in the Attic. Locked Door, Secrets in the Attic. Those go away. These come in. There's 4 copies. Shuffle the set aside copy of Endless Descent. That goes away along with the discard pile. Oops. There we go. Probably check to make sure that the stream is still streaming. According to the phone, it is. I'll check it here in a second. Let's see. It is wonderful. we go. Okay, that was the act, which was the end. So then we get a doom. It's exhausting playing with physical cards, isn't it? We get badness. We get a ghoul minion that spawns on us. This goes into our threat area. Therefore, we discard a card. I'll discard the Lucky Sig case. Evade, draw. That's a cost move. So evade, draw, move. So we do, this is the beginning of the turn. So we get 3 actions on Safina. We get cash money. We get to do a 4 versus 2. Oh, this is where it starts getting bad, isn't it? 4 versus 2 heads test. I'm gonna do the 4 versus 2. Four versus 2 minus 2. That's a succeed. Okay, first action is to evade at 4 versus 2. Evading at 4 versus 2 minus 2 is a success. So the ghoul minion is evaded. Second action is to draw a card that is beneath Safina, and that is what did I do with my other cube? Oh, I didn't spend it. So second action is to draw the intel report from underneath Safina. Last action is to move, spending that intel report that has 2 books on it to pay the cost. So we get to this mysterious stairs location. Force, after you enter this location, lose an action. So it doesn't have I don't have an action to lose. So that is the end of the investigation. We're at the enemy phase. The unnameable moves to us again. I will, then he refreshes. We get cards and money. Cards, daring maneuver, money, cash money. We get badness, which is doom. So 5 out of 6. And each investigator and enemy at the topmost location to the location below. Wait. Move each investigator and enemy at the topmost location to the location below it. Flip the topmost location to its unrevealed side. Discard all tokens and attachments from it. Place it below the bottommost location. So move each investigator enemy at the top to the location below. So he goes into the threat area, so we'll have to deal with that. And then this moves to the bottommost location. It's flipped. Shuffle the positions of each unrevealed location so you cannot tell which is which, and add this card to the victory display. So shuffle all the locations that are unrevealed, which is everything. It's all 4 of these. So I'm going to shuffle these, and then I will place them randomly like this. We'll just start going like this. So this moves to the left, this goes here, this goes here, this goes here, and this goes here. Well, that was fun. This is now engaged again. That means I discard a card. I will discard a copy of Backstab. I think. Yeah, I think so. And that was Badness. So she gets 3 actions. We test at 4 versus 2 on a heads test. Four versus 2, -2. That's a success. It is the beginning of her turn. She gets money from Lone Wolf. First action is to pay 3 and play Storm of Spirits. 1, 2, 3. So she's attacking with heads. So she's at 4. She's at 4 versus 2 on the ghoul minion. I can draw this card for free. What is the action? So, yeah, you lose an action. Okay. So first of all, first action is to draw the card beneath Safina. The second action is to play this. Pay 3. Commit +2. She's at 6 versus 2 with a Storm of Spirits. It's a skull, which means she takes a damage. It's a graveyard location, but she's at 6 versus 3. So that is a 6 versus 2. That's a succeed by 1. So that was a good idea. Those go away. This goes away. It's just what it is. It puts 2 damage onto the unnameable, which is useful. It puts 1 damage onto Safina, so she's at 3. It kills this ghoul. So I can put this as a 3. Okay. 2 actions. Last action. This is where things are really getting tight. We will move to the next mysterious stairs location because we've already paid the cost. While there is a ready enemy at this location, investigators at this location cannot move or resign. Forced when this location is revealed, search the encounter deck for a ghoul and spawn it. Yeah, there's the ghoul at this location. Wow, this is very bad. So she loses the last card in hand because of this. And then that's the end of her turn. She takes 1 damage and 1 horror. 1 damage and 1 horror. And then we have this guy who moves to that location. We have Doom. Oh, Badness. A Lone Wolf. We have Cash Money. And we have Doom, which is 6 out of 6. Well, this is not as good as it was last time, but that's okay. So this is shuffle the encounter discard pile into the encounter deck. Now the rats gain 2 swarming, and he loses aloof and he gains a massive, and he still has the 2 willpower. We have badness, which is grasping hands. In this situation, so this is a 4 versus 3. This could kill Safina. So we will 4 versus 3. It's going to be a 4 versus 4 with the unnameable. So it's going to be 4 versus 3. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do 4 versus 3. -3. That is a dead Safina. And that is all she wrote. Well, that's the game. So in this situation, everyone was defeated. When there's that many auto fails, that's on key tests, it's just hard to recover. Proceed to resolution 2. Resolution 2. Your last waking sensation is a rush of noxious, frigid air. Proceed to resolution 3. In your campaign log, record Randolph. Oh, really? We did recover the strange key. So Randolph survived the descent. Each investigator earns victory X. Your body now walks within the dreamlands, so you get an extra skull token. If you're playing the Web of Dreams, if you're playing the Dream Quest. Alright, that's it. Well, thanks for watching. That was fun. It's a fun deck. It's a different deck, right? It's fun. So the total experience for Safina is 1, 2, 3, 4. That's not bad. That's not bad. I can start getting some of the stuff that I want. So she earns 4 victory points, and she gets 4 victory points for the table. Thanks for watching. Let's see if this saves correctly now. Take this out of the holder. Hit end.